Well, hello there, everyone. It is Tuesday, January the 18th in the year 2022. So the 2022 year is progressing along. So pretty soon we'll be saying it's February. Anyway, feel free to subscribe, comment, like the videos, etc., etc. So anyway, the human brain. What's inside there? I do know a little bit about it. I've read books on traumatic brain injury, TBI. That's why, as an example, I've referenced in some video in the past about in Florida, there's no helmet law for motorcycles. And I've rode a motorcycle several years as a teenager, dirt bikes. I rode motorcycles for 3-4 years, street bike, went in the country of Panama and Puerto Rico. And I always figured there's two kinds of motorcycle riders, those that have hit the ground and those that will hit the ground. And I've talked to other riders over the years in states like Florida, and there's other states that don't have helmet laws. And I'll ask them, why don't you wear a helmet? And they'll say, it's the freedom, the air, blowing their hair back, and et cetera, et cetera. And I was like, I was in the country, or they say helmet's too hot. People here in Florida say helmet's too hot. I lived in Panama where I wore a full-faced helmet. I wore gloves. I wore long sleeves, long pants, boots. It was a requirement by the military. So every time I left base, I was wearing that. I didn't take it off when I got outside the base. I wore it. Every single day in Panama, it's hot and humid. Every single day, 365 days a year. That's what I wore. Being hot is just an excuse. So anyway, I digress because I talk about investing on this channel. But how does investing and our brains, how are they connected? So last night, Millennial Mike and myself, we had a Knights of the Round Table discussion. It's going to be on his channel, so he'll post it in the next day or two probably, and I'll let you know when it's posted so you can check it out. But then we discussed motivation and discipline. How some folks can get all motivated, hyped up, they watch YouTube channels, they read books on real estate investing, but they just can't pull the trigger. They just can't take that first step. They get stuck. They're spinning their wheels. All right, just like when I interviewed Tyler, the Navy pilot, the other day. He said he had analysis paralysis for about a year before he finally took the plunge and bought his first house. But going farther than that, we chatted on this a little bit last night too. At least the folks who are watching the YouTube videos and reading the books who don't get stuck, perhaps they will take the plunge eventually. But what about the other segment of society that maybe I talk to, Millennial Mike talks to, family members I have, family members you have, who they might tell you, Michael Zuber has referenced this, he has a sister like this, but they might tell you, don't talk to me about investing. They just don't want to learn about investing. But it's like, why is that? Is there something up here? We're all different, we're all human beings, and we all have brains, and we all live our own lives, but we're all the same. We're all connected. We all bleed the same color. We all have lungs and a heart and everything. We're all people. Society forgets that. They break us down into different colors, different reads, different political groups, etc., etc. My way of looking at it, we're all part of the human race. We're it. I thought when the pandemic hit and COVID came, that might bring us together as a community, a society, a country, bring us together. But nope, it separated us politically. It's a freaking illness. It's nothing political about it, but it is what it is. So with investing, what is it? Are any of you brain folks who study brains? Are any of you surgeons who do brain surgery? That maybe there's a difference in our brains? But if I really think about it long and hard, what it is though is, I think it comes down to, it's a combination of a couple things. One, investing is not taught in our school system at all. Most teachers do not know how to invest. If you want an example of one teacher who does know how to invest, watch the interview with Dominic. He's a public high school teacher who now has 53 rentals. Okay, but the majority of teachers do not invest. All right, and they don't teach it. If they were required to teach it as a required class, they would study it in college, and some would know how to invest, some wouldn't, but they would still cover the subject, which would help. Again, most parents probably are not investors because most of society doesn't invest. So most parents aren't investors, so they don't talk to their children about it. I talk to my kids about investing. I don't know when we started. I talked to them about money. I talked to them about saving money and being frugal and living below your means. I talked to them about all that stuff. Now my oldest son is knocking on the door to 30. My youngest son's midway through his 20s. They both have great stock portfolios. The oldest son will have 5 rental houses here. I think he closes soon. The youngest son wants to get his first rental house. Okay. So as Millennial Mike said, as I've said, there are so many folks out there who they make excuses up, time and money. But yet time, I debunk time. That might not be the right way to say it, but it's like we all have 24 hours in a day, 7 days a week. I used to work full-time jobs. I worked 50, 60 hours a week, a lot. I worked rotating shift work, daytime, nighttime, 12-hour shifts, 3 12-hour days, 2 days off, 3 or 4 12-hour nights, stuff like that. I found the time to learn how to invest in the stock market, okay? And I had 2 kids and a German Shepherd and a cat and a mortgage and a house and a wife. And the kids did activities, they swam, they were involved in theater, they played baseball, different things they did. And I was there as a parent, but I still found the time. How did I do it? Because we all have the same 24 hours in a day. And I sleep. I like to sleep every night. So how did I do it? I just did it. I made it a priority. Okay? Most of society, and I will guarantee this, most of society does not take the time. They do not make it a priority. Some of them pay it lip service. They'll talk about it, but they don't do it. I have friends, close friends over the years that I have banged my head trying to get them to invest, and they know I'm financially independent. They know I moved to Florida, living in a nicer house than I had before. And yet they still make excuses. And they're my age, roughly. And they still make excuses on investing. Why is that? I've heard so many times comments from folks who say they will work until they die. And I might say to them, but if you start investing, you wouldn't have to do that. Sure, you might not be retired when you're 50, but you don't have to work till you die. You can retire earlier. Maybe retire at 65 and you don't die until you're 80. But why hang on and keep working till you're 80 when you don't like your job? But I don't understand it. And I've talked on some of the issues, perhaps. Schools don't teach it. Parents don't talk about it. But even with adults, try it sometime. If you're an investor and you watch my channel, try talking to somebody about investing and see what kind of reaction you get. And if you talk to somebody and they just won't do it, try to find out why. And I almost will guarantee it'll be either time or money. Time or money. But if you come out and say, hey, buy Dogecoin, you might get rich, a lot of them will plunk $500 down and buy it. But if you say, hey, buy Starbucks because they're a growing company and it's the year 2000 and they plan to expand to 20,000 stores and they got 5,000 stores, so it's probably a good, safe investment, and you see Starbucks popping up on your local street corner, stocks are too risky. Stocks are too risky. I've heard it time and time and time again. I don't understand it. So here's my gut feeling. My gut feeling is my channel could grow to 1,000 subscribers, 10,000 subscribers. Millennials Mike's channel will grow to thousands, 10,000s of subscribers. Michael Zuber, Chad Carson, Grant Cardone, they will all keep growing. But statistically, society will still continue the same way. The majority of folks will not become investors. And that's just how it is. So prove me wrong. Change. All right? Start investing. Can you do it? Let me know what you find out. Mazske is signing out.